Good. So that's a little bit about your background. Now, you're culturally diverse as well, which makes you doubly interesting. But you also have a part of your CV brings you into, and I called you PMI royalty, because you said you were involved in the student chapter at Thunderbird, but you also moved on to other heights within PMI. Tell us a little bit about your tenure with PMI.
Absolutely. I think that this is one of the greatest things that I latched on to was volunteerism within PMI, because it's been a lifelong journey, really. It started out at the local level and then quickly transformed into the international level and the national level. I had the opportunity to serve in a variety of volunteer roles within the SIGs that we mentioned before, financial services, marketing and sales, as well as different local chapters. And right about the time that I was done with one of the SIGs, I had an opportunity to move into a greater visibility role, and I ran for the PMI Board of Directors position. I was successful, and I joined the board in 2003, served on the global board for 6 years, and the capstone year was when I served as the global chair of PMI. And I had the honor of actually serving in every single officer position of PMI. I served as chair, vice chair, secretary, treasurer, and the chair of the strategic planning committee. So it's been quite the learning. And I feel like it was a very big privilege and honor to do that. I will say that as exciting as that journey was in terms of being influential in shaping the strategy of PMI, what I really enjoyed the most, and that was the biggest takeaway for me, is traveling to over 40 countries and meeting hundreds, if not thousands, of PM practitioners, learning from them, hearing about the journey, and really the excitement. Project management has had a huge impact on many lives in terms of changing them, not just in the power of projects when they get done right and they're successful, but the lives of the project management practitioners whose lives have been positively impacted by being associated with the profession, being associated with PMI. So it's been great seeing that and hearing their stories across the globe.
Your history with PMI is exactly 9 years longer than mine. I got involved with PMI in 1999 when I became proponent for the Vienna, Austria chapter. And I think it's important. I think it's important for our generation to remind the new generation that not everything that this generation is better than what it was in the past. I still think that PMI to a certain extent has this culture, but I think what you kind of said, what endeared you to project management and PMI in the beginning was the people, right? And I want to have a shout out to all those people of our generation. I remember the first symposium I went to in Philadelphia, where we had a plenary session where all the chapters, presidents of the world sat around in a Congress type setting, and we had the typical Senate rules, and you could make motions. And what I loved about PMI, and this is a saying that they used very strongly back then, I haven't heard it in a long time, was this principle of think global and act local. And I think, although PMI originally was a very American organization, it very, very, very quickly in our tenure, became a global player. And maybe that's something we could talk about when we're talking about past, present, and future, what some of the challenges of PMI might be in the future and what they could do a little bit better. You worked under Greg Ballestero, I think, before him,
Greg
during
was
him,
the
and after
CEO
him.
when I was on the board. Greg was our CEO. He joined PMI in 2002, and so the board that was just 1 year preceded me selected him as our CEO, and then I joined the board and worked closely with Greg and Mark Langley and the team.
Yeah. Mark Langley is a great guy.
Staff organization at the time, as they are today as well. So not many remaining, from that older generation, but
there's still a lot of them are some were still in the background. Some of them have gone into real retirement, but I'm sure you're still in contact with them. I'm in contact with a number of them.